Mag-build ng muscles while on low carb? Or natatakot ka bang mag-low carb dahil baka mangayayat ka when it comes to your lean body mass? Today, pag-uusapan natin ang 5 myths in muscle building for adults and seniors. And with us tonight, kasama natin all the way, nasa ibang bansa pa siya ngayon. But he really took the time to be with us para matulungan tayo to enlighten us kung ano-ano ba yung mga common myths in muscle building for adults and seniors. So help me welcome our very own, isa sa mga pinakaunang mga coaches natin in our low carb community and specializing in muscle building, especially for senior and adult health. They led the group na tinatawag na low carb and fitness for 40s and above. So if you are 40s and above or nearing 40s, eventually, darating din tayo dyan, we can benefit from this idea. So help me welcome Coach Dan. Hello, Coach Dan.
Hello, Doc. Thank you for having me here. I'm excited to share yung mga tips natin para matulungan yung mga nag-low carb, especially yung mga ating adults and seniors, especially in their fitness journey.
Thank you so much, Coach. So, bago tayo pumunta sa mga myths in muscle building, ano ba yung pinaka-essential? I know this is already a very review na, no? Pero ano ba yung pinaka-essential when it comes to muscle building?
So, um, sa Worth the Grind, yung aming focus talaga, yung especially no, sa low carb community, nakikita namin na there's a lot of people na may struggle sila sa pangangayayat or nasobrahan sila sa payat. So we're focusing on simplifying yung bodybuilding kasi nakaka-overwhelm siya eh. Minsan, especially if
Mm.
you're a beginner, wala kang experience. So, ang essential talaga is right amount of protein and calories, no? Nutrition. And yung tamang may structure sa workout natin. Yung hindi lang yung uh, Zumba, jogging, no? I will discuss that later, no? Pero
Mm.
dalawang essential lang talaga, right nutrition and structured na program, meaning lumalakas ka. That's the goal, is to build strength.
If I may add to that, Coach Dan, tama ba that sleep and rest is also essential part of muscle building? Kasi when we eat the right food, so meron tayong mga ingredients para magkaroon tayo ng muscle sa ating katawan. And then when we exercise, we actually try to break down our muscles in order for it to be rebuild, no? Magkaroon ng rebuilding and since meron na kayong tamang pagkain, tamang support for that, it will actually be facilitated during the right amount of rest and sleep. So, tama ba ako, Coach Dan, with that?
Co- Correct daw. Actually, there's a quote na share namin last time. Muscles are built in the gym, nourished in the kitchen, and grown sa pagtulog natin. No? So,
Yes.
recovery,
So,
no? Sleep and
parang
recovery,
tatlo
very
yung
important.
pinaka-essential
Yes.
na areas when it
Yes,
comes
yes.
to muscle na building. Pinaka-importante yung kitchen where you will prepare your food. Next would be the gym or your house kasi pwede naman magkaroon
Yes.
ng home workout setup. And lastly, your bedroom. So sleep is very, very important talaga. So now, move on na tayo sa ating topic for today, 5 myths in muscle building for adults and seniors. So, unang-una, sa lima na yun, pang-lima ay lifting heavy weights is dangerous daw for seniors. Ano ang experience mo dito, Coach Dan?
When we were starting to make a program for senior and nag-enroll din kami sa mga courses for senior fitness
Mm.
together with Coach Lee Min Hu, no? So, isa sa mga fear namin is to handle seniors kasi parang fragile. No? So, hindi siya usual na senior nag-workout, nagbubuhat ng
Mm.
mga dumbbells, no? So, yung nire-recommend kasi, yung general recommendation is cardio, walking, brisk walking, kasi fragile na eh. But when we had majority ng mga ano namin ngayon, no, mga students namin is nasa 60s, 70s, no? Yung pinaka ano namin is 74 years old. And they are lifting 20 pounds, 30 pounds each hand. No? So that's
Mm.
around 50 pounds more, no? So, but of course, na hindi siya isa sa mga fear na is hindi pwedeng magbuhat ng mabigat. But na ano namin yun, na debunk namin yung na myth na yun. Eh, basta tama lang yung kain mo, and then
Mm,
may slow process of adding weights.
mm,
It's seniors will really benefit kasi that's why sinasabi namin low carb fitness for 40s and above, because when you reach the age of 40, mas bumibilis yung rate of muscle loss mo.
yes.
And meron ka risk of sarcopenia or extreme muscle loss, especially if you're in your senior. No? So, sarcopenia is related sa, yung muscle loss is related sa dementia, sa mas mataas yung risk of injury mo pag na-aksidente. That's why nakikita natin yung mga lolo't lola natin na nababalitaan natin na aksidente sa CR, nahihirapan sila mag-recover from injury because it's not because mahina yung bones nila, it's because there's a lack of muscle mass. So yung bones is protected by the amount of muscle mass that we have. So paano natin mabibuild yung muscle mass? It's really working out and lifting heavy weights, which
Mm-mm.
is kaya ng mga seniors.
Thank you so much, Coach Dan, for that. And I want to emphasize, no, ang muscles po natin, it will follow the use and disuse. The more you use it, the more it will strengthen. The more you do not use it, most likely it will go to waste. So magkakaroon ng muscle atrophy. And yes, as we age, yung ating tendency to hold on to those muscles ay less as compared sa mga bata pa. That's why if you're starting on low carb at your 20s, 30s, makikita ninyo hindi talaga bumababa yung weight and na tulad na drastically as compared to our seniors sa mga mommies and lolas natin. For us who are somewhat around 30s or 20s pa, magkakaroon ng ceiling yung inyong pagpayat because you'll always have that youthful hormones to keep your muscles intact. So, hindi naman ibig sabihin na just because we are already seniors, ay wala na tayong pag-asa. This is just a wake-up call na all the more we need to work double when it comes to lifting weights kasi if you will not lift weights all the more na hindi magkakaroon ng motivation yung katawan ninyo to create muscles. And this is also somewhat magkakaroon ito ng rebound or nagkakaroon nito ng domino effect. The more you lift weight, of course, merong proper way to do it. Sabi nga ni Coach Dan, merong paraan how to do it progressively. Hinay-hinay. Hindi yung kung never ka nagbuhat sa buong buhay mo, hindi pwedeng bigla kang magbubuhat ng 50 kilos or even just 40 kilos na mga weights nang walang training. So, dapat merong progressive kasi kailangan dahan-dahan para masanay yung muna yung katawan natin. And what's nice is the more you progressively lift weight, the more actually it becomes less dangerous. Kasi the muscles, the ligaments that you will form will be the one to protect your musculoskeletal system, especially your bones. Seniors are very prone to injury and fractures. Hip fractures, knee, lahat na. Matumba lang, matukod yung kamay, karoon ng wrist fractures. So, konting slip lang, pwedeng magkaroon ng fractures. But the one that will protect you from all of those will actually be the one surrounding your bones, and that would include your muscles. Fats can also help, but it's just a coating lang yung fats. It's mostly the muscles. That's why lifting weights may be dangerous for seniors na walang training at ginawa ito ng hindi tamang paraan, walang guide, or kahit nag-DIY man lang, kahit yung tamang, you can learn it on your own if you really don't want to spend on a coach, but you have to dedicate time to learn it the proper way. So lifting weights is not dangerous for seniors as long as it's done the right way. And actually, kung titingnan natin opposite side nito, never lifting weight may actually be more dangerous. Kasi
Yes,
if you
exactly.
never lift weight, your muscle mass may be so low na you are already having muscle atrophy, and that is weakness and low lean body mass, extremely low lean body mass also relates to lower immune system at yung ating tendency to resist stress and other na mga stressors, even infection, recovery from illness is also low. So yon, wag matakot mag-lift ng weight as long as it's done the right way. Now, move on tayo to myth number 4. Kailangan daw natin ng carbs to build muscles. What's your experience dito?
Yeah,
Kasi if I will emphasize, no, sa gym, especially the ones na handled by the typical diet. I know it's high carb, high protein, low fat. Yun yung pinaka-specific. So now, what do you do with your coaches, Coach Dan?
Yeah, this is a common misconception, no, na hala, nangayayat ka na, bumalik ka na sa dati mong diet, no? Or yung mga, let's say, nagpapa-enroll sila sa gym, sinasabihan sila, ano ka, kain ka carbs, no? But in my experience and of course studies, no, na sinasabi natin, we only need enough protein and calories from fats, no? A little bit of carbs siguro, no? Uh, well, depende ito sa individuals, no? Kasi iba-iba yung mga hinahandle natin. But typically, if you are fat adapted na sa low carb, and matagal ka nang naglo-low carb, you can get your fuel from fats, no? And meron kaming mga students na even they prefer na mag-workout na fasted.
Yeah.
Walang sugar or hindi kailangan yung typical na sinasabi na kailangan mo ng sugar feeding, no? So carbs are not essential. Uh, Basta tama lang yung calories mo, tama yung program mo, tama yung fats, and you have enough protein, you can really build muscles, no?
Mm-mm.
So hindi siya it's a myth, no, na kailangan natin carbs. Kasi yun yung fear eh. Coach, nangihahit na ako, kailangan ko nang bumalik sa dati kong ano. And yung nangyayari sa kanila, because they're panicking, and nagmamadali sila, instead na magka-muscle sila, ay tumaba sila ulit. And
Mm,
nagkaroon lang sila ng water retention. No? So,
yes.
you don't have to go back to your old lifestyle. Kailangan mo lang talaga ng slow process pa din. No? May tinatawag kaming gaining phase. No? So yung
Okay.
gaining phase, tinataas namin yung kinakain nila.
Mm,
Siguro we lessen the fasting hours.
mm,
Kasi not because fasting destroys your muscle, no. Hindi fasting yung nagpapangayayat sa atin. Kulang lang talaga yung kinakain natin. Kasi
yeah.
yun din yung ano eh. Kaya lang, nilesen namin yung fasting hours, yung fasting window nila so that they will have more time to eat,
Mm, mm.
no? Enough calories and protein. So, yun lang.
Thank
Hindi natin
you.
kailangan bumalik.
I like that you emphasize on that kasi yun ngang sinasabi before na kailangan daw ng carbs. And if when it comes to muscle building, what you need is insulin. 'Di ba? We always try to lower our insulin when it comes to healing, when it comes to inflammation. But truth be told, kailangan din natin ng insulin to build muscle.
Yeah.
And among the three groups, fats, proteins, and carbohydrates, yung fats lang po yung walang effect sa insulin. So actually, if you will elevate your protein intake, nagkakaroon pa rin kayo ng enough insulin to build muscles. You don't need spikes, yung shoot up ng insulin coming from carbs. Okay? Insulin from high intake of protein can be enough when it comes to building muscle. And yung mention mo ngang water weight, I know about that because marami ang iba, kaya kasi gusto nila ng quick fix eh. So they instantly go back to high carb and then instantly nga nagkakaroon sila like ng plump in their faces, in how they look. But if you will look at their biometry, physical biometry, you will see na hindi tumaas yung kanilang muscles. What they
Yeah.
increase is their water in their body and also their fat levels. And when it comes to health, what we want is to lower our fat levels, excessive fat levels in the body, and at the same time, yung water natin, it should just be enough. Water retention is still isa pa rin siya sa ingredient ng inflammation. And from my experience, nakikita ko those who are on low carb that are hindi zero carb ha, it doesn't need to be zero carb. But there are even other full carnivore. There are carnivores that are very, very lean. So, you know na hindi talaga essential yung carbs. But if you choose to have some carbs, you can have that. Meron namang computation yan on how much carbs you want. But don't make muscle building an excuse for you to go back to high carb. Kasi hindi po maa-outweigh ng mga exercise kung ang kinakain nyo is highly inflammatory. So, we want you to build muscle but at the same time retain your good health. So, kapag tayo ay naka-low carb and we try to build muscle through the three key steps, no? Eating enough amount of proteins and then doing your necessary heavy weightlifting to build muscles and necessary relaxation and rest para ma-facilitate yan, most likely you will gain muscle mass that are lean. Yung hindi siya bastang nawawala because it's not loaded with just water. If you will build muscles, high carb, high protein lang, kapag the moment na bumaba ka sa iyong kinakain, immediately parang mangangayayat because the glycogen in our muscles can absorb a lot of water. But if you are on low carb, when you develop muscles, it's like pure lean muscles na matigas and hindi siya bastang nawawala. It's actually more sustainable. So that's why yung carbs for building muscle is non-essential, especially ang kailangan natin sa ating muscle building would be the insulin to promote it and the amino acids. And the amino acids can come from proteins. Building block po ng proteins are amino acids kasi yung kinakain nating karne are also muscles of the animals. It will be breakdown into amino acids at gagawin ulit muscles ng ating katawan. So thank you. Myth number 4, we explained that it is not true na we need carbs to build muscles. Okay? And go na tayo with myth number 3. Ayokong maging
Yeah.
bodybuilder at lumaki ng sobra. So, ayokong magbuhat. Totoo ba to, Coach Dan?
Yeah, this is a common concern, especially ng mga babae. Coach,
Mm,
ayoko magbuhat kasi baka maging bodybuilder yung itsura ko. No? Sa mga babae, we don't have enough testosterone to build yung kapareho ng mga lalaki na parang bodybuilder. No? Actually, ladies, women, if you lift weights, you'll be sexier, you'll be more functional, mas lalakas kayo, gaganda yung i-improve yung glutes nyo, yung legs nyo, yung body composition nyo talaga. Physically, you will really improve, no? Sa the way you see yourself sa mirror, hindi kayo lalaki. It's a myth, no? So
mm,
yun yung concern na palagi namin ina-address kasi natatakot sila. Coach, sigurado kasi merong kami isang student na yung 70 plus na siya. Tapos yung husband niya, nagugulat kasi nag-o-order sa Shopee, Lazada ng mga 20 pounds, 25 pounds, 30 pounds ng mga dumbbells. Sigurado ka ba sa bubuhatin mo na to? Baka lumaki ka na. So, it's a myth. You'll gain strength, you'll improve your body composition. So,
mm.
hindi kayo lalaki, especially mga babae.
Yeah. So yung mga lalaki, if ang mga lalaki by nature has this tendency to really develop muscles kahit wala silang gawin. Yun
Ah,
nga lang, natatabunan ng taba if wala kang ginagawa. But
yes.
women are actually by nature not really built to have bulky muscles, similar to males. Women are built to have more fats na residual
Yeah.
because that's how our body is created. And bago kayo matakot na maging bodybuilder kayo, it will take years for those kinds of muscles to form. So hindi po
Yeah.
yun mangyayari. And what's nice also is there are specific exercises, there are specific weights, there are specific na program that will target certain muscle groups that are going to emphasize the beauty of the woman's body and
Yeah.
emphasize the beauty of a man's body. So magkaiba yung structure. So that
Yeah.
alone, hindi kailangan katakutan. Ayoko maging bodybuilder at lumaki ng sobra. Don't worry, hindi kailangan katakutan yan kasi hindi yan mangyayari. Especially if you do it right, you do it the guided way, and you learn the proper way of building muscles for you. Si Maming, you mentioned about 20 pounds. Ngayon na din, meron siyang
Wow.
dumbbell na 20 pounds. One hand, ginaganon na niya. Tapos, yung
Wow.
reklamo niya ngayon, kailangan na naman siya bumili ulit. Kasi magaan sa kanya yung 20 pounds for one hand.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
yun yung mga problema ni Maming at 68 years old. And yes, I agree. Hindi siya mukhang bodybuilder. All the more, she's looking younger, more youthful, glowing, and very, very energetic, especially sa mga pinagagawa niya. So, move on tayo, Coach Dan, to our myth number 2. Cardio exercises like Zumba, jogging, treadmill, biking are enough. Yun yung sinasabi na parati. Ay, nag-exercise naman ako, Doc. Every morning,
Yeah.
nag-walking ako. Every afternoon, nag-zumba ako. Is that enough? Tama na ba ito? How's your experience, Coach Dan?
Yeah, just I don't know, disclaimer. I'm not against cardio exercises. They have their own benefits. If you want to improve your mental health, your heart, and you just want to relax. no, and just want to enjoy the nature, you love biking, you go for it. But if you want to, yung ano kasi, sa studies, yung amount of muscle mass that we have is related to the quality of life natin, no? And if you want to really improve your health, kailangan talaga mag build ng muscle mass, no? So na-debunk na natin na hindi kayo lalaki, hindi kayo magiging bodybuilder. So, cardio exercises more on ano to, it's called cardio for a reason. It's for heart, for relaxation. But if you really want to improve your body composition, kailangan po talaga mag-resistance training. Kailangan natin mag-build ng strength, no? So, if you do your Zumba, don't do it every day, you're jogging. It's also, isa sa mga myth din na coach, kailangan ko ba magbuhat araw-araw? Of course, no. Yung aming recommendation lang is 3 times a week, 30 to 45 minutes per session. So, 3 times a week, that's, you have,
Every other
for
day.
sure, meron kang ganun sa 3 times a week, no? So, if you're doing your cardio, don't do it every day, no?
Mm.
Mas kailangan talaga yung resistance training.
Mm. As what I also recommend to my patient, especially yung mga previous patients ko in telemed. Sorry nga pala na busy ako ngayon. I cannot attend to all telemed patients now. Pero yun yung sinasabi ko, if you cannot let go of your cardio, at least replace half of them. Half ng iyong cardio routine with resistance training. So yun, 3 times a week, that's already good
Yeah.
enough. You can alternate it with your cardio routine. Okay, we are not against cardio exercises. It's just that it may not be enough when it comes to overall health, overall longevity, and overall form. And before we move on to myth number one, meron lang akong gustong i-emphasize kasi meron ako mga kilala din na nangangayayat, nagrereklamo na payat na sila, pero ayaw din lang mag-exercise. So, yun. So, that's where the problem lies. Kasi yung muscle, hindi siya pwedeng tumubo by
Yeah.
wishful thinking lang. Dapat may action talaga. So, just like everything in life na mga problema natin, if you will not do anything about it, wala talagang magbabago dyan. So, one thing that you can do is, don't complain. Tanggapin na yan talaga ang resulta. Kung ayaw
Correct.
mo magkasakit ulit and then ayaw mo rin mag-exercise. So, just complain, don't complain and accept kung ano man ang current status niyo. But of course, we know we want you to be happier and we know it might take a little effort doing exercises, planning your meals, higher proteins, but it will be worth it. However, yung myth number one, eto yung pinaka nakakatakutan ng iba kasi ayaw nilang tumaas yung kanilang protein intake because it destroys daw their kidneys. How true or how wrong is this, coach?
Yeah, so this will depend on your case, no? Especially if you have an existing condition like CKD, no? But for general population, if you have healthy kidneys, protein will not destroy your kidneys. Pero yung concern, meron akong mga students na wala naman silang diabetes, wala silang hypertension, perfectly fine, no? Pero nung nagpa-lab sila, medyo tumaas yung yung blood urine nitrogen nila, and yung creatinine. So, minsan nagpa-panic sila, no? So, sabi ko, that's normal. Sometimes, kasi nag-workout ka, and then kumakain ka ng protein, medyo tumataas yung nitrogen sa ano mo, bloodstream. So nagre-reflect sa lab. So, minsan ginagawa ko, binababa ko lang muna yung protein. But if you have healthy kidneys, no, you're fine. Hindi siya, it's the more na you age, the more protein na kailangan mo.
Yes, and I would like to emphasize then na yung creatinine po na nanggaling for example sa muscles ninyo na nabe-breakdown when you are doing exercises and nabe-breakdown from the proteins that you are eating, hindi talaga siya yung nakakasira sa kidney. It is just a reflection of your kidney function status. As we know now, yung number one pa rin na nakakasira ng kidney would be the inflammatory metabolites. Number one dyan, yung very high sugar. Number two, yung sobrang taas ng mga fructose na nagtra-translate then into elevated uric acid na hindi lang po nanggaling sa karne. Uric acid na nakakasira, most likely nanggaling yan sa mga pagkain natin that are very rich in fructose, high fructose corn syrup na merong pathway sa ating atay that can increase uric acid. And high protein but kasama ng high carb and high inflammatory foods, yun yung hindi maganda. That's why we love proteins. We want to maximize yung pwedeng magawa ng proteins to our lives, but we can maximize that by eating real foods and of course low carb, low inflammatory foods. And no, it will not destroy your kidney, especially if you are still on the healthiest state, bata pa, wala pang kidney problems, those are real good. So, may nag-question dito, of course, okay lang yung low carb and fasting, although wala mo nang kailangan fasting if meron kayong iniinom for diabetics. And for children, I have nephews and nieces na generally naka-low carb. Walang elevated sugar, walang biskwit, walang kahit anong mga fruit juices. They are doing fine. And meron dito ang isa, si Nora, hirap i-convince. Sobra ako nangangayayat dahil pero nung nakita ko si Doc and Jason Fong, subscribe, nag-low carb ako agad-agad, wala pang alam. Kulang sa calorie yung food ko. Buti na lang after 3 months, nag-masterclass din si Ma'am Nora, na ngayon nagka-gain na ng muscle. So, thank you Lord. So, yon hindi natin sinasabing huwag kayong kumain ng proteins or kulangin yung inyong kinakain. With low carb, we always say you don't need to eat less, you just have to eat right. Thank you so much, Coach Dan, sa ating 5 myths in muscle building for adults and seniors. Maraming salamat for sharing your experience. Coach Dan po is one of the founder of Worth the Grind Academy. Sila nila Coach Linin Hu na makakasama din natin in NLCD, National Low Carb Day 2023. Kasama natin sila in 2022. Coach Dan, can you help me invite our viewers?
Yes, no. So open na for registration ang National Low Carb Day 2023. So see you there October 1 sa the same venue, FILINVEST tent Alabang. We will have a good time. We have so much surprises for you and we can't wait to see you, no, and have a fellowship, learn more and build relationships with you guys.
Maraming salamat, Coach Dan. So, Coach Dan and Coach Linin Hu, they will be there and give you some sample exercises that you can do at home, especially sa mga may concern on muscle building, especially yung mga 40s or nearing 40s and seniors. Maraming salamat, everybody. Wait, picture muna kami ni Coach Dan before we end our episode, and stay tuned, of course, sa ating mga pages. Meron tayong Facebook group. So, si Coach Dan, meron ding Facebook group that you can see in our website in nationallowcarbday.com para makita ninyo. And that's our topic for today. Picture muna tayo, Coach. 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you. Maraming salamat, everyone. We'll see
Thank
you again
you.
next time. Please make sure na naka-subscribe kayo sa mga YouTube channels natin. Majority of the questions, especially sa mga baguhan pa lang, ay nandyan lang. So, thank you so much. Bye-bye, Coach. Wala na bang last message, Coach? Plug in your Facebook pages and channels.
Yeah, if you want to know more about low carb muscle building, mga tips on how to prepare meals, follow us page natin, Daniel Matthew, no,
Okay,
YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much.
okay. Thank you, Coach Dan. Bye-bye. Till
Thank you.
next time. Bye. Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much for watching. Mahalagang paalala, hindi po ako nag-endorso ng meal mix nuts, super meal mix, veggie noodles at iba pang produkto na illegal na gumagamit ng aking pictures at videos. Paano malalaman if yan ay scammer? Number one, tingnan nyo yung page. Kakaunti lang yung followers nun because my page, Dr. Josephine Grace Rohotan, nasa 952,000 followers na po. Number two, tingnan nyo ng maigi, edited yung mga pictures and videos na ginagamit nila nang wala kong pahintulot. And number three, kapag kiniklik nyo, meron pang idadirect kayo sa isang website outside ng page na yon. So remember na wala pong magic sa pagpapagaling. Nasa tamang pagkain at lifestyle lamang, magpa-araw, mag-exercise at kumain ng natural and whole foods. Remember, stick to our safe list of JGC Rojo food list at yung food list na ito is downloadable for free sa www.jgrtannd.com. com. And of course, if you need low-carb suppliers na legit, meron po yan sa ating official LCF partners. Paano malalaman? Just make sure na follow kayo sa ating Facebook na LCF Center. And of course, yung diet doktora natin, dyan nakalista yung ating mga legit low-carb providers. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube channels, Dr. Josephine Grace Rojotan. And for more learning, make sure to enroll in our LCF Masterclass by yours truly. Stay low carb, stay safe. Maraming salamat po. Till next time. Bye!